The biggest failure in all of 2B2T history has just come to a close, and it's known as SBA Loans. This video is to announce the closure of SBA Loans permanently and go over its history on the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft. The purpose of SBA Loans was to solve the group's issue of running out of materials, and it would help us in many beneficial ways in concept. It would obtain income, which would be reinvested into the group through giveaways and material purchases, and we would obtain these funds through being able to repay loans with real-world currency. We could obtain new building materials that weren't previously supplied by people being able to repay loans with different materials of similar value. So if you had a high quantity of something of a lower value to pay for something of a higher value, you could do that. You could also pay with something of a higher value to get a lot more of something of a lower value. And also, it would make the group look way cooler than the Spawn Masons. We got beef and we wanted to be more professional than them, because then we look way better. Which, for the record, did actually work for at least a little bit. However, the rippling effects from the introduction of this program have resulted in devastating consequences. Even worse than how Imperium was using a Connect 4 solver to win the Bing Bong event a few hours ago. I'm recording this in the past, I have no idea if they won. They probably did, and they probably cheated. The consequence of SBA Loans will have permanent, lasting effects on the entirety of 2B2T as a whole. It will never be the same. So, how did this happen? Chapter 1. The Catalyst, whose name rhymes with egg. So basically, Meg came over and brought up the idea to everyone else in a purge as a very conceptual idea that didn't even include some of the safeguards that would be put in later. A few members argued about how it was a bad idea and fundamentally it just wouldn't work, but the objections were overall ignored by other people. So Meg took that as the A-OK to go ahead with the project and decided to go along with developing the concept of SBA Loans. And so, a video was produced to announce to the masses this new idea. And the video was good. Too good. It pushed the idea of SBA loans to its audience in a way that made them crave loans. By the end of the announcement, everybody had wanted to have a loan. And then everything went to fucking shit. Chapter 2. What has been sploned cannot be unsploned. So, you might be wondering what happened as a result of this. A lot resulted from this. It caused 2B2T to have an actual fully functional economy, like a real economy, on 2B2T. But due to excessive splonage, the economy is actually suffering from economic inflation. And if you want illustrations of this, you just have to look up 2B2T inflation art on Google Images. You have to turn safe search off because economics are dangerous, but trust me, it works. SBA 80 was actually self-griefed. We lied about who griefed the base. It wasn't Enclave, it was us. The materials you used were never free. They were loaned, and the Splone Sharks must come to recollect their investment, one way or another. And here's the worst news. The wheel is dead. It was murdered, and the killer used its single weakness. The fact that it was made out of wood, its flammability. A flint and steel was found in one of the nearby chests at the crime scene. There were no DNA traces, but the durability indicated that it had been used. So the investigation team is currently ruling it to be the murder weapon. It hurts to lose a trusted member, especially out of nowhere like this. We will remember the wheel fondly for what it has done for us. Chris is gone, by the way. Like, he vanished without a trace. We don't know where he is. No one has been able to find him. So if you manage to find Chris, be sure to tell him that Chris is missing. Because if anyone knows where Chris could be, it's Chris. So the next time you see him, tell him that he is missing so that he can find him. And also, did you say that Tubi has like strict rules now? Like, since SBA Loans was introduced in like October, Microsoft went and forced Housemaster to enact strict rules on the server, which forbid many builds from being built and statements from being said. It's actually insane. And it makes you wonder, why have these rules been put in place out of literally nowhere when it's been perfectly fine for years on years prior? Well, actually, the answer is very simple. It's because of the loans. Need I say more? Chapter 3. Moving forward. We here at SBA want to take accountability for what has happened in the past, so this is our decisions moving forward for what we are going to do for the group. All loan transactions are final. No players who made transactions with the service will be eligible for any refund. SBA needs what you've given them significantly more than you need the money yourself. Your money is very important to us, especially our bank accounts. Resulting demotions. Meg's reputation following the scandal is at its absolute lowest, and we would let her off with a warning, but she has already received a warning for an event in the past. So, for causing the SBA loan scandal, along with purging poor, innocent member Usurious Berry 39, Meg has been demoted from Overseer to Trusted. Here's to hoping this will avenge our fallen brother Usurious Berry 39, who truly did do nothing wrong. Milan was also demoted from Trusted. No one knows why this happened. And the funeral. A funeral will be held for the wheel following its recent passing. We ask those of you who attend to show the utmost respect for who we have lost as a result of the SBA Loans event. We're also holding a funeral for Chris. He's still missing without a trace, so we're just assuming he's dead at this point. So yeah, we're holding a funeral for him as well. And additionally, there's going to be new restrictions in future bases. Because of excessive splonage, increased restrictions have been applied to the server through the rules that I talked about before. So certain builds will result in world editing, so we're going to ban them from being built in future SBA bases to prevent the world edit tampering with any future bases. Based on Housemaster's and to a greater extent Microsoft's criteria, the following words and concepts are no longer allowed in any future SBA base in any form. Any offensive, hateful, violent, or sexual imagery or speech, any religious symbols, this includes the Buddhist pinwheel, any reference to the server owner, including their name, their face, or references to any actions that they have performed, such as refunds, all non-PG swear words and slurs. If you don't hear it in a Hermitcraft video, you no longer see it at our base either. Any depictions or references to anthropomorphic animals or the furry community. And finally, all pride flags and references to sexual orientation or identity or woke culture. Gambling will still be allowed at bases because it doesn't break the rules. So actually, we encourage gambling at the bases now. You have to gamble in order to stay in SBA. Oh wait, also, the loans channel is also being removed from the server. I forgot that was like the only reason I was supposed to make this video. So like, yeah, it's gone now. Bye! And as a final message from everyone at SBA, we are sorry. Anyway, like and subscribe for more PowerPoint